After several days of theaters being absolutely packed and not being able to find seats, on Sunday night, a 9 p.m. showing of Deadpool and Wolverine, possibly the most anticipated movie of the year by just the general media. I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's very anticipated. I am very stoked to see this movie. So, just leave it at that. Let you know what I thought of it when I get out.
Hi, my name is Nathan, and I talk a lot about movies on this channel. If you're new here, down below in the comment section, share what you thought of the movie event of the year, Deadpool and Wolverine, over on my channel. I have more content like this. Check those out once this video is over. And if you enjoy this video, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe because that really does help a lot. With all that said, let's just get straight into this review talking about the good. And to come off very simple and straightforward with this review, everything you want from a Deadpool film, you get in this movie. It's been 6 years since we've gotten a Deadpool film, and I would say a benefit to this movie is that what people were really excited about it was that it was a new Deadpool film, but it's in the MCU. I would say that it works a lot more as an addition to the X-Men Fox franchise as a Deadpool movie, more so than it does as an MCU movie, and I would definitely say that's to the film's benefit. Even though there has been 6 years removed from the previous Deadpool movie, this movie feels like it has not skipped a beat because everything that we enjoyed about the first two Deadpool movies is still present in here, with obviously the humor, which is just super inappropriate yet really funny for the most part in this film. Just like in the previous two films, you also get the fun bursts of ultra violence for the action sequences in this film of this franchise. And I went in a little bit skeptical, like Disney making an R-rated MCU movie, how is that gonna work? It feels much more like an X-Men Deadpool movie than as an MCU movie. And it definitely works here, where with the R rating, does it tone it down? Maybe it tones it down just a little bit from the first two, but it still has the things that you enjoy about the Deadpool movies. And where I think this movie excels for most of the time is with the character work. Our two leads here, Deadpool and Wolverine, they have really strong character journeys and character work throughout the movie, especially with the Wolverine character, where of course Ryan Reynolds is always fun to see in the Deadpool role, and he's great in it, he fits in it. And with Hugh Jackman, this is his return as Wolverine, and also I thought they found a good way and a nice satisfying way to have Wolverine return without cheapening what they did before with Logan. And what they instead do with the character is they do this different version of him that I think it really fits with the context of this movie. He has a character journey and you care about him. He's a character that's broken over something that has happened to him in the past with his universe.
He's a hero in my world. Yeah, well, he ain't shit in mine.
And he's trying to kind of redeem himself, and there's kind of an ongoing theme about that throughout the entire movie, and most of that is of course from the Wolverine character, who just has a nice little character. I don't want to get into spoilers in this review, I don't want to spoil anything, but he does have a nice character arc in the movie, and so does Deadpool, where he's a character who's also trying to fix some things, fix up his life, and he goes on this character journey throughout the movie as well. And I thought that's where the movie excelled, was with the characters, because you cared about them and their journeys throughout the film. And also, speaking of our characters, it's very important to talk about our two leads and the chemistry that they have together on screen, because Deadpool and Wolverine have such great chemistry on screen together. It's always fun when they're around, because Wolverine as the serious guy, he's like deadpan humor, while Deadpool is just humorous all throughout it, and they go really nicely together, surprisingly, and it works really well. It makes the movie really, really entertaining. Also, in multiverse fashion, we were all expecting a bunch of cameos, but this movie delivers more crowd-pleasing moments than just cameos. It's not just the cameos, it's just little things that characters do in the final half of the film that it will get audiences going. And they make some fun jokes about like the meta universe and 20th Century Fox and all that with its irreverent humor. And it's nice and kind of refreshing to see an MCU movie that isn't particularly set in the MCU, but it's larger in scale, but it doesn't really feel that way because of the two lead characters and you care so much about their journeys. So for me, this movie, what really worked about it was that character work. And I thought that just elevated this movie to a different level where great performances and nice chemistry between the two. It makes this one just really, really entertaining. All that said, it's not perfect, so let's move on to the bad. And with all the high highs that this movie has and all the things that it delivers that we were all anticipating with this film, it also has some things that I wasn't as crazy about. First of all, I feel like the actual plot of the movie, it feels a lot more like kind of a subplot. Since you get these character journeys, it doesn't feel like the plot is the main focus. Especially in this big sort of middle chunk of the movie. There's a middle chunk of the movie. I'm not going to say exactly what happens, but it doesn't feel like the plot was particularly the main focus of certain scenes, certain sequences, and what the characters are actually trying to do in the film. And with the actual plot itself, it also feels like we had a very clear goal in the first, 1 hour, 30 minutes of it, and then in the last 30 minutes, it totally kind of shifts what the characters are trying to do in the film. And so the plot suddenly felt like it changed a little bit, and I wasn't crazy about how that went. And when you're talking about those last 30 minutes, it can have some satisfying moments with the characters. But with the plot itself, it doesn't feel like it was what we were building up to, rather than everything beforehand. And the finale itself kind of felt a little bit anticlimactic, where there's a cool action sequence in there, then there's some nice moments in there, but I liked a bunch of action sequences previously in the movie more than I liked that action sequence. There's a point in time in this movie where I thought the final battle would be at that point, and then there was still the last 30 minutes left, where it kind of changed plots and kind of changed up what exactly the villain is trying to do. And which leads me to the next thing, Cassandra Nova, who's the villain. And I wouldn't say she's a bad villain, she's fine. It's just her motivation is part of that problem with the third act little shift, as with that, her motivation also shifts, and there's something new that we have to stop. Which I'm not sure that was the right way to handle the villain. I feel like I could imagine a better way you could have handled it, but still, overall, crowd-pleasing movie. Just, people are gonna go crazy for this movie. I really enjoyed it. The cast was having a lot of fun. My audience was having a lot of fun. So I had a lot of fun with this film. There's just some things that need to be ironed out here. So overall, I'll give it a B+, but those are just my thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine. Down below in the comment section, share what you thought of it over on my channel. I have more content like this. Check those out right now. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end, and I will see you in the next one.